Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am Duckville. I'll be your host this evening for this really interesting Zerg versus Protoss game. Of course, it is a match taken from the Team Liquid replay pack of the week number 65. You can find it over on the Team Liquid website. It is, of course, featuring one of their very popular and very highly skilled, especially in the economic fronts, Zerg players. We're speaking, of course, of Liquid Red. We'll be starting up at the top left-hand side of Whirlwinds here today. He'll be facing off against, I believe he's a Russian player, of course, playing for Team Anexis. He is, ironically, a Protoss player by the name of Verdi. Now, you may not have heard of Verdi so much. He's obviously a player, a European player who is a very, very good player. I think also like a couple of people, like I believe it was Rotterdam, once said that he had some really good harassment style of play. But he was at a DreamHack Stockholm a little while ago and competed against some really good players there. Like he took down, I believe it was Mana, Thorzane, and someone else, and then lost in the playoff bracket to, I believe it was Jadong. No big harm in that one. I mean, if I lost to Jadong, I'd be pretty impressed by getting that far. But either way, he's a very good Protoss player. So we'll see how he goes here up against the Dutch Zerg, who loves a bit of droning. We'll see what Red's going to do here in this game. So before we get too far into it, of course, I do want to make a mention of, if you guys, I've had a lot of support after casting DreamHack and that kind of stuff. If you guys want to, keep up to date with what I'm up to, some of the ranting that I do on Facebook, and, links to various events, streams, all these kinds of things, and of course, just an easy way to contact me, and if you want to send in a replay, if you want to, contact me for casting something, please jump on facebook.com/duckville.casting. And that's probably one of the better ways to contact me. Apart from Twitter or just a direct email is Facebook. I'm always on there and I can help you out, help me out, all those sorts of things. And it would be really cool if everyone could jump on there. I'm up to about 289 likes, I think it is, at the current time. So if we can reach 300, that'd be cool. If we can reach 300 billion, that'd also be cool. But unfortunately, I don't think we can get that far. But either way, it'd be good to have your support, so please jump on there. Now, let's keep an eye on what Verdi is up to here. He actually has not scouted at all. He hasn't even, considered scouting. It seems he's gone for a Forge first expand here, with the Nexus going up shortly after the Forge, a pylon, and also the Gateway here in a cannon, but no real clue as to what he is, where his opponent is, I should say. So we'll see what he gets up to. Normally, when a lot of players don't scout, it's because they feel very confident in their very standard sorts of builds. So I wouldn't really expect Verdi to be doing anything too cheesy here, just due to the fact that, well, obviously with a Forge Fast expand, there aren't exactly a huge amount of options to do something crazy straight off the bat. Normally with this kind of build, you're either looking to get a third base up at around about 7 minutes or so, or you're looking to get some sort of early aggression play that comes out of a Stargate, or possibly, there is the option of a robo-based play, but on this map, I highly doubt that. And we do see that he picks up a very fast third assimilator down at the Naturals. So we'll find out if Rhett is going to catch what is going on just as of yet. He himself has not actually found exactly what his opponent is up to. He certainly knows that Verdi is down in the bottom right-hand corner here. We'll see what these links catch, because seeing this very quick third gas is a pretty big thing here. Yeah, he did just see it. It was just on the edge of the fog of war. This Overlord will confirm what's going on. In fact, he looks like he wants to check out whether the fourth gas is there, and so he will be able to see what's going on. So Verdi just grabbing a lot of economy here, just really getting up a lot of gas. We have +1 to... Did he start that before? Oh, no, he hasn't. I thought he'd started it before. Maybe he cancelled it. But there is also a Stargate on the way, so he is going to be opening up with a very standard sort of Stargate opening here. Meanwhile, Red, identifying that his opponent is not going for any sort of one-basey kind of stuff or anything with a gateway-based expand, is going to be able to take his third base, as we can see here. May even look to take a fourth base very soon. I do know that Red loves to grab his fourth as quick as he can, mainly to get the gas out of the fourth once his economy is in a pretty good shape, as he is now up to 41 drones, with 5 more on the way. Going to probably add on a bunch more after that too, just due to the fact that, as he said before, he's a drone machine. Loves his droning, does our dear Rhett. So we'll see what particular path he is going to go down very soon. Just the three extractors at the moment, but he does have his lair on the way now, adding in a 4th extractor here. Meanwhile, on Verdi's side of the map, we've got a robo facility coming out. The Forge is researching +1 to weapons, and there are a couple of Phoenix now just making their way out. So very, very standard here. This is kind of what we mentioned before. When a player doesn't want to scout out what's going on, and just to keep in mind, he still does not know what is going on Rhett's side of the map. But it just generally will mean that they're very confident in the way that they play a very standard sort of game. Whether it be just a simple sort of economy-based sort of play, or whether it be that 2-base harassment into a 3rd base, these kinds of things are all, you know, the standard sort of way to open up in, especially in PvZ here, of course. So Rhett is going to grab a couple more extractors, going to throw down some spore crawlers at each of his bases. I would assume we're going to see another one. We've got one just down to the side here, but we don't have one in the mineral line. But he does have the Evo Chamber going to get started on some +1 to missile attacks. We've got a couple spores inside the main as well, and there is a Hydra Den and an Infestation Pit. So there is certainly a possibility of some Swarm Host-based play coming out of Red here. He has just added on another huge round of drones there. 10 drones on the way. With these Phoenix approaching, you certainly will need a couple, and yeah, there is that Spore Crawler. I'm a little bit surprised that is only just coming up now. Verdi will probably be a little bit surprised himself. Catches out a couple of drones here. We'll be able to kill off around about 5, 6, maybe 7. No, he's going to have to back out for now, but does a good job of scouting out well, effectively where Rhett is. I mean, it's been a very long time to find out what his opponent is up to, but he will see. The 3rd base is here. It's well protected by a set of spores there, and it looks as if for the moment Verdi is going to have to back out. But what I would love to see is for him to dive inside the main. You don't have to kill off too much, but just identify what's going on here. And in fact, it is going to be Swarm Host coming out of Red this time. We've got Enduring Locusts being researched, Groove Spines for the Hydras also being picked up, and now we can see that a 4th base is on the way. So Verdi is going to have to deal with a very dangerous attack coming his way. We've got +2 to weapons already being researched by the Protoss player. Colossus is on the way, and Immortal, and it looks as if he is just going to go for a very sort of simple expansion-based build here, with a couple of gates coming up the back. It's not a massive amount of gates, it's only these 5 in the main, plus the 6 at the front, so it's not as if he's going for a very heavy 7 or 8 gate based push or anything like that, along with the fact that he is researching extended thermal lance. We've got the Twilight, we've got all the tech is available now for the Protoss player, so yeah, he's just going to move across, take his 3rd base. He will identify that Rhett has gone for a 4th over here on the side as well. And, well, this is going to be a really interesting game because Verdi is effectively putting himself in a good position to be able to deal with the Swarm Host, but will he be able to identify it in time? Because the one problem that he's had so far is the lack of scouting. We haven't seen him get inside. All he's really been able to see what's going on is that there are now some Hydras on the field, and realistically, as a Protoss player, you see Hydras, it's like, wow, well, that's kind of standard. I don't, you know, there's nothing really exciting about that. But what is coming is a large amount of Swarm Hosts right now. We can see there are already 9 out on the field, along with another 3 being built right now. Muscular augments for the Hydras. The Spire is also just about to finish up as well, allowing him to get out some extra air units. I'm not sure what he's going to go for just at the moment, but we'll see shortly, because he will have Hydras on the ground to protect the Swarm Hosts, and I would assume we're going to see Rhett start to make a march across the map very soon. He doesn't have a huge amount of creep spread, but it's not too, you know, that's not too bad. Some players like to get out a Nidus Worm and then Nidus their way across to their opponent's base, but we'll see. Because there are all sorts of options available here for Rhett. He's got a great economy. He's currently sitting on a nice amount of 79 drones. Verdi, meanwhile, he's not doing too badly with his economy himself. 68 probes are out for him. Going to set up a nice little gateway wall just off to the side of the 3rd base. But there is a +3 to weapons. Very, very quick with that +3. And the Colossus is going to come out. But the big thing we're going to keep an eye out for is what he does when he identifies that the Swarm Hosts are on the way. As we can see, they are slowly plodding their way across the map. There are a total of 16 of them out, and that is a really big total when you consider that this kind of stuff does break through walls just basically instantly once these Swarm Hosts get up the ramp. So Verdi is going to see these Locusts now just making their way up. The Locusts slowly charging up. Going to peck away at the gateway here, but it looks as if Verdi does have enough to fend them off for the moment, but will it be enough to contend with the large amounts of units that are now starting to pile up. We've got Corruptors coming out from Rhett as well, just going to enable him to be very free with his movement of these Swarm Hosts, because the one big issue that a lot of players have is dealing with Void Rays or Colossus counterattacks on top of those Swarm Hosts, and that can be something which can ruin your day if you are going to go for this kind of strategy. But Rhett, well prepared, has those Corruptors out. Verdi, we need to see at least a second Robo go down. I wouldn't even say it's a bad idea to go for a third, but one thing which he is going to have a little bit of trouble with is defending this third base. Speaking of the number 3, Lings are going to make their way inside. Hydras are going to peck away at some of those other buildings here. It looks like the Colossus, however, have just moved to the front, and the Corruptors are going to go to town on them. The Void Rays will be able to slowly take them down, but you know, at what cost? He's now lost almost all of his Colossi here, and in fact the last Colossus does fall down on its legs, and effectively now Verdi has no real way to deal with these with the Locusts popping out of the Swarm Host. He's going to try and make his way across, but unfortunately does not really get too much done. The last remaining Void Ray that is here, if he can kill off that Hydra or the 2 Hydras here. Oh no, there is a Corruptor up at the back as well. So Verdi, his chandelier in the sky does splash down to the ground. The Corruptor, interestingly, has been taken out, but now speaking of taken out, it's not McDonald's or something for dinner, it is a cybernetics core that has been taken out, and Verdi is in a load of trouble right now. No storms from what no storms, so he can't even somehow buy his way out of this with storms. He needs to get some Colossus out, and unfortunately without a second Robo, it's just so hard to do that because there are so many Locusts slowly making their way across. The Hydras will be able to go to town on the third base. I would not be surprised if Rhett, just walks his way up. He should be able to deal with those cannons very easily there. And this is a free third base kill for Rhett, and it looks as if he is now going to slowly just continually push in these Locusts, as they were built to do, is just completely siege up your opponent as much as he can. And I don't actually know what Verdi can do from this point. His economy is going to start slipping in a second here. He does have double Stargates at the back, but I mean, when you're dealing with a lot of Hydras on the ground, it's too hard to try and Void Ray counter the Swarm Host. And as we can see, the Zealots doing their best, valiantly fighting at the front, and the Colossi are completely caught out. The Hydras, the Lings, and the Locusts doing the end work there. So really, really interesting play from Verdi. Just completely playing in the dark there. I'm not sure if that was normal Verdi day or if it was perhaps the old Artosis rule coming into effect. It was the first match of the day and it doesn't really count, but unfortunately for him, not able to identify what Rhett was up to, and Rhett was able to bring out some really interesting strategy that I haven't seen too often, but did net him a nice win here. So make sure you check out the Liquid Rhett replay pack up on the Team Liquid website, and of course make sure you subscribe to my channel here, have a look on Facebook, click the like button as well, say hello on there if you will, and also on Twitter as well. I'll catch you guys next time. Very standard and won't throw out crazy stuff too often. So we will see the 11-minute timing, the Mothership Core, going to have a quick look and see what she can find in there, but a couple of Marines will poke about and try and defend against that. So we can see that the stim is now on